My name is Schaber, and the name of the company is Specialised Welding and Engineering. Our company basically is an engineering company. It does a lot of certifications, and then we do structural steel. We do a lot of labour hire for the mine sites, as well as it does a lot of oil and gas pipelines and stuff like that. I come from Aranda country, which is Harts Range. Our Harts Range is where my dad was born. Back in the early days when my dad was a young bloke, he had to have a special permit to come into Alice Springs because he was an Indigenous man, and back in those days, if you didn't have that permit, you'd be locked up. My dad married the first Aboriginal nurse in Australia, which is Rona Glenn. When he had me, he was roughly around about late 50s. I got fostered out, but always ran away to my real parents. Then my real parents always handed me back to the system. I've learnt the hard way. It was quite rough. A lot of people put me down back in them days. I got in trouble with the law. I defaced government property. I stole a few motorbikes, done a bit of shoplifting. When I was inside at the age of 17, I was quite lonely. One night, just laying in my cell, looking up at the roof and going, mate, what are you doing? This is not you. And so from that point on, that's when my life has changed. The clothes that I got locked up in is the clothes that I walked out in 6 months later. Not a suitcase, no nothing. I had a passion for fabricating, so I went to local engineering firms. Over a period of a couple of years, they said, okay, we had enough of you coming in every week. So they offered me a job as a labourer. I was there for about 3 years, and then I asked them if they could put me on as an apprentice boilermaker. Once they gave me that opportunity, then I finally felt that I had started becoming somebody. Once I became a boilermaker, I travelled around Australia, getting into the welding inspection industries. We originally started the company 8 years ago. It was just me and my partner, Kylie. I met Kylie in '93. That's when my life started to come together. She's helped me with my education. She's really the backbone of my directions of the way that I went. We had a grant from EBA to help out, Indigenous business mob. It was quite tough from the start. Once we proved ourselves, then we started biting off bigger stuff, bigger jobs, did a lot of work for Santos. Actually grown from a small team into our peak was about 30 people. We're building a big sign at the moment with all this rolled steel, and this is a grand entrance of the Tennant Creek Township. We've got the Newmont, Australia's biggest gold mine. We do all their refurbs on their buckets, certifications on their machines, building the Supreme Court for Alice Springs. That was really our first sort of big structural job. We did the spiral staircase, said that it couldn't be built. All the steel that you see in that Supreme Court, it's come from this workshop. We do the working program with the jail, so we do get Indigenous people to come through here to actually give them a heads up in the industry to help them out, and then we give them an opportunity that they can come back and work with us for full time. The reason why I started up Specialised Welding and Engineering is to give the local unfortunate people like myself an opportunity that it's not impossible to actually have a go, but to put your heart and mind into something, and it can be done.